Good morning to a very damp and flooded day 74. It's 8:30 and just speaking to the guys. There's only a couple of guys here because they can't actually get to the areas they want to work in because of yesterday's flood. So we're going to have to get the little pump out that I bought and get pumping the water out to the road. Joys of building in rainy/hurricane season. So yeah, we actually had a weather warning yesterday, which came through from a friend of mine. It was actually like a government letter. I thought, oh, government letter, that must be quite serious. Jesus, wasn't it? I've never seen thunder and lightning like it. It was actually amazing. And the rain came down for about 3 hours and just didn't stop, but proper rain. So where this is concerned, we're gonna have to pump this out. The good news to a certain extent means the floor is very stable, but it also means that the weather table obviously is up underneath, which means the water can't run away. So we're now also going to have to try and find a solution to get the water out. Moving forward, we have a lot of water on the land, then we've got to make sure the water can actually get away, because obviously water turns stagnant, and with stagnant water you get the lovely little Nazi mozzies. And they're not pleasant here, that's for sure. So that's one thing we've got to do today. So at the moment, no workers are here apart from Tyson, the legend. Tyson? The legend's always here. Colin, site manager, he was here, but he's had to go because he forgot his phone. It's like my wife.
Then the dogs come in and carry all the bags. Then one, the dogs carry all the bags. When they're going to put food, they put food there. You can't talk to them. Nah, you depend. Every tell them something.
I've got to translate that to everyone on the camera. You know that, don't you? I've got to translate that to everyone on the camera. Do you know that, don't
you? You had it on there?
What he meant was, the arseholes just drop their shit and food everywhere, never put it away, and the monkeys come out and get the food, and he's pissed off with it. Brilliant. But anyway, so one thing I might be able to do is take you into, he says, be mad if I do. Yeah, it's not looking good. He's in. He might be in. So yesterday, they didn't have a great deal of time to work yesterday, but they did get a bit done. So they've actually made the doorway into what's going to be, we're now standing in the 2 storage areas we talked about. They also blocked up, let me spin it around in fact. They blocked up more levels on the irrigation tanks and the pump room. I'm not too sure why they're different colour blocks. They probably got them from a different place. Don't think there's a difference in the materials, but yeah, so that's going to be obviously the water irrigation. Same size as the first storage unit, which they've now taken the doorway out down to the footing, and now we're obviously standing in what will end up being the second one. That's now the doorway into the basement, and the only way to get into the basement, like I've said before, will be some form of hatch from upstairs into. Formwork, lots of wood. God bloody hell, this wood is so expensive, it's just laying around. Obviously a lot of the boxing is still to be done. One thing I do want to check whilst I'm here is, have they poured the concrete down in the walls? I'm hoping they have, because we desperately need to make sure that they have. Concrete, rebar concrete, rebar, concrete. So it looks like they've done this part, so fingers crossed they've done that right along. The reason why we do that is because the wall itself becomes like a solid concrete wall, so it's easier here and cheaper for them here to build a block wall and fill it with concrete than it is to board it, formwork it and fill it with concrete. So yeah, that's technically, love that word, technically, the reason why they do it that way. But obviously manually they have to pour the concrete down each one of the boreholes of the blocks, and the blocks themselves are scattered, but obviously the 8 shapes cross over each other, so you can still pour straight through. The downside to that, obviously, as we saw with some of the columns here, you're meant to vibrate concrete to ensure that all the air gets out and all the concrete sinks to the bottom, which they don't get to do in those. So it's a potluck type scenario, and it's down to the mixture that they put together. Doesn't look like they've actually poured, well, maybe to say, there's actually the columns here as well. There's concrete at the bottom of one of them, so it looks like they might have pulled the columns. This one, I would say they definitely have. You can see concrete splashed against the back. I'm not too sure about the main one, so I'll get up here and have a look. Oh. Spin it around. Yeah, so they've pulled that one. They've not pulled the main one at the moment. So I'm going to have a look with there as well, because I'm meant to get in 3-inch smocks on that. Double check that. Doesn't look like they managed to pull the other one either, so there's 3 to be poured. One of them has been poured and 2 haven't. So we'll see about that. Other than that, in here, it's pretty much as is. Again, I think they were rained off. I mean, they literally, I watched on the camera, they were rained on and off all day, and they eventually left about 3-ish. But technically from about 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock, they didn't really do any work. There's that lovely word, technically, again. If marl is still soggy when you stand on it, then it's definitely not been compacted enough. Swimming pool holding water. So yeah, we've got quite a deep bit of water here. What we got? Not massive amounts, but it's over quite a large space. So yeah, it's a really small amount of water. Okay, so Tyson's going to go and get the pump out. And we're going to have a look at how long it takes us to get the water out. But as I say, there's going to be no work today, because at the moment the rain is still forecast to come in as well. I don't know how much, and by the time they've actually pumped the water out, it's not going to get a great deal. But I say one thing it has confirmed is the marl that they would, I don't think they've actually rolled this piece, but they were compacting it with a hand compactor yesterday, but they need to get a roller in here and get that rolled. Other than that, it's all looking quite the same, because obviously they were rained off. So I think that's going to be it for today. I will obviously check back in again later on if there is any change, but I would say for day 7-4, being a Saturday, which normally is a really good productive day, I'm not going to get anything done. But they are aiming to come out tomorrow, so hopefully the weather will hold off. So that's it for now.